I think our son is gay. Volume 1 review. I think our son is probably gay. He's really cute and sincere to boot. Hiroki Aoyama is just starting high school. He lives with her mother, Tomoko, and younger brother, Yuri. His father, Akiyoshi, is often away from home on work. Hiroki is an outward outgoing teenager who's getting good grades, enjoys playing games, the electronic kind, not school sports so much, and tends to say what's he thinking aloud before engaging his brain. A typical conversion over dinner will almost always include him merely blurting out his innermost thoughts, realizing what he just said, turning bright red and loudly correcting himself. A discussion about corn in his mother's curry leads to him observing, "It's okay if I want to eat it when I'm older. I just find a boyfriend who's great at cooking and get him to make it for me." After a two-panel pause, he then casually corrects himself. Girlfriend, girlfriend. I totally meant girlfriend. Funny, I keep saying the wrong word. While younger brother Yuri just continues eating and Tomoko observes to herself. Our son often slips and says, boyfriend, instead of girlfriend. Honestly, he's so bad at lying. When following the day-to-day life of the Aoyama family, mostly drunk Tomoko's eyes, she's thrilled when Hiroki invites a new school friend, Daigo, back from a games playing session, and handheld sets of memories of an early middle school friendship with Hiroki's that didn't turn out so well. My recollections were Hiroki's nursery days, with a quiet happily smooch at the 3-year-old boys, because that's what Akiyoshi does his young sons as a welcome home greeting. So little Hiroki naturally does it too. So Tomoko is a main viewpoint character, and like many parents, has a pretty accurate understanding of who her elder son is and what makes him tick. She's not bothered, it seems, by the fact that he is probably gay, and he's both amused and charmed by his clumsy attempts to share and or hide this from her. He's most likely to try to present an image of himself to her as a son he perhaps imagines she would like him to be, but constantly keeps friendly slipping up. Is she aiding and abetting this deception? Is she playing along because she feels it will make him more comfortable about the desire to pretend that he's straight? At some stage, there's going to have to be the conversation between them, but until then, the little game continues. The reappearance of absent father Akiyoshi steers things up more than a little, but by the by, Tomoko seems perfectly happy with the way things are with her husband away from long periods of time, which makes you wonder when you begin to unpack it, exactly what kind of a marriage this is. But that story will be material for quite a different manga. As a breadwinner, Akiyoshi, when he returns home from a brief holiday, the topic of a TV drama Loverman, and the young woman in his office are enthusing about what comes up over dinner. Akiyoshi's attitude to the subject matter is predictable. Well, no matter how entertaining they say it is, saying two guys kiss and stuff is pretty gross, isn't it? He says, laughing. This provokes a big reaction from Hiroki, declaiming loudly, two dudes, whatever we were thinking. When Tomoko asks her husband, did you actually watch the show? And of course he hasn't. She goes on to gently suggest that it might give him a topic of conversation with his young co-workers and even change his mind. I think her son is gay is yet another LGBTQIA+ manga that began live on social media, as several of the titles were reviewed here recently. I first encountered Okura's work in That the Blue Sky Feeling, in which his original webcomic was redrawn by mangaka Komahashi, which is also deal with teenage years, discovering one's sexuality and making friends. In his new series, we see that Okura's own art style is attractive. There were little glimpses of it in the author's afterwards in the earlier work, with a cartoony vibe to it, not a criticism, and many great action shots. The humorous gag vibe also comes across in the well-judged pacing of the short chapters, as each one builds to a neat little payoff, while also managing at the same time to quietly emphasize an underlying point about tolerance and understanding. However, I'm intrigued by the fact that Anno Jointy seems to be aimed at readers around Hiroki's age. How would you feel about constantly seeing Hiroki from his mom's point of view? Tomoko comes across as impossibly benign and understanding, given a mostly absent husband and her lovely but nevertheless teenage sons. Discussing parenting issues with your parent partner via the phone is not quite the same as having them there to support you when things get tough. I like the fact that she's quietly rooting for Hiroki while letting him come to his own conclusions about his sexuality. He's ready to do so. My favorite character is a typical younger brother Yuri, who is adept on calmly covering for his older brother. He probably understands instinctively what's going on, without giving anything away or giving any info. This relatively slim volumes from Square Enix manga is the first of three so far, with the plastics translation by Liam MacDonald captures the family conversations around the meal table convincingly and the color page at the beginning. Kudos also to letterer Lord Prescott for delivering to many different modes of speech, inner monologue, and sound effects in a way that brings the story vividly to life. A Think Your Son is Gay delivers an entertaining and feel-good read, and the teen rating means it will make a good addition to the LGBTQIA+ shelf in the senior libraries. Rated free review at the publisher's website here. 8 out of 10.